honestly, having that front screen right away before your app, we've already talked about this, is really detrimental to people understanding what your app can do. You want to get them into the app as soon as possible, because I am not going to read that body of text, right? Even though there's a really fun illustration, I'm not going to read that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Henry Kirk, and welcome to the very first, second, third, I don't know which one this is, App Teardown. I'm joined here with my two partners, Sven and Max. I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we will talk about what we're going to do today.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Sven. I do the design work here at Studio.init.
I'm Max. I do the research and product strategy at Studio.init. That involves sometimes looking at doing studies, looking at analytics, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. And today we are going to, over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to tear down 3 different apps that are like supermarket apps, like where you would do your food shopping. And so we have 3 apps that we're going to go through today. We have Krogers. How do you say that, Sven, the next one?
It's Erewhons for all of the West Coast people who know this.
Okay.
This is Erewhon is what they would say like a luxury grocery store, so a little bit more high end.
Interesting. Okay, I've never seen that one before, so we'll do that. And then we got Ollie's as well. So let me make sure I got that set. Okay, cool. So which one do you guys want to start with?
Well, I think just to start looking at the 3 icons at the start, they really communicate things so differently, right? The brands themselves, the company. As we know, Erewhon is more luxury, I would say, I would say high end. So you can tell that their brand for the icon is a little bit more subtle. They're trying to get cues from like fashion, houses, and just trying to keep it a lot simple. I don't know what Ollie's is, so I'm going to assume it's a little bit more playful, meaning more kid-friendly. And Kroger seems to be the blend between the two. It's a little bit more playful, but still a little bit laid back.
Yeah, Ollie's icon reminds me a lot of like the Bob's furniture stores on the East Coast, Northeast up here. And Kroger's just seems like a pretty generic icon. But if I had to like choose the one, I think Ollie stands out a lot if you're going to find it. But I don't know if that really matters anymore now with shortcuts and app library and whatnot. All right, cool. So maybe we'll start with Ollie's first because it's the one that I think many of us don't have any experience with. So, all right. Okay, so this is the first screen that we'll see when we go in here. So new to Ollie's app, set up your account, and already an Ollie's app user. All right, I don't have an account, so we'll tap on sign up. And oh boy, there's a lot in here. Okay. All right, cool. What's this do? Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I'll start. You guys start talking about this while I start filling this out.
Yeah, so generally speaking, this is not how you want to start people's app experience with like filling out a long form in order to get into the app. People want to see what it is that they can do in there, and this really requires you to get out your keyboard, start typing a lot of stuff. And it's not entirely necessary, especially in this world now where you can sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, all these other things that could just do this instantaneously.
Yeah, and a couple things like that just fire up from the technical standpoint as I'm filling this out. This particular field doesn't support password email autofill. So it looks like it's like a web app, some sort of like web view that's being wrapped here. And then you got the password here where it does support password autofill, but what's happening is like it's not working really great. So now it doesn't pick up that there's a password there. It did briefly. Not anymore. Something must be broken with it. What do you think, Son?
Interestingly, I'm really interested in the brand typography and how they're communicating the direction. I think it's super playful with the typography of Ollie's being a little bit more fun. I will say what's missing is a little bit more directness, especially now you have to compete for attention. People want to know right off the top of the bat, what is this app doing? And good stuff that's cheap doesn't really communicate grocery store. I would just assume it's a place to find anything. So we really want to be as clear as possible. And if you're going to go the route of being super expressive, I would assume you would add, grocery store icons or really fun messaging somewhere that would communicate to the user what this app is truly doing. So I think there's a missed opportunity there. I will say what's good about this is that, again, it's really standing out in the sense that the direction is very different from what I've seen in other apps.
Yes. It's also preventing me from moving forward without checking my email to validate it here, which I find annoying. Like, especially if people are going to be at a store, let's say, and they want to like verify the, take an action or do something in here. So that way they want to, like get their frequent ID, like their frequent shopper card, or even, there we go. I just clicked it outside of it. Like the user wants to get coupons or something like that, and they're in the store. You want to make it easy for them to kind of like get in and start using the app. So that was really annoying. All right, so now I'm in. My email's been validated, and now it's asking me for notifications. I'll just say
and
yes.
So normally with notifications, it's good practice to tell the users why they should have notifications on, which you don't have in here, right? Like you're just asked, you're giving like the standard Apple template of like just activate notifications, but like, most people don't want to get too many notifications, so they only want to have them if they're really going to use them. And Ollie's hasn't like really provided an explanation of why you should have notifications on yet.
Yeah. Okay. So first thing I did go through, and it told me to go get a setup in the store for the card, and there's all these deals. Then this is your area of expertise here. What do you think of this whole layout?
I mean, it's definitely giving newspaper or like physical paper, and they're trying to just replicate that onto a digital touch point. It's very competing right now with what you're trying to call out, the red, the yellow, the black. So one thing that you could do if you really want people to focus on an expensive deal is consider using a modal and then shading out the black right away. Because right now everything's kind of competing. I mean, the spacing wise could definitely be tightened up. But right now, I would consider simplifying as much as possible. People are known to look at visuals. So like this is a really great example where text isn't really read. So I would just consider blowing up the images or isolating it in a modal so that you're able to really focus on what you need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, one thing I noticed here is also when I'm in where did I go? I just lost where I was on the home page. How do I get back to home? All right, well, it's a little confusing here. The text is very tiny. And apparently there is a Ollie's near me, not too far. I may have to check it out one day. So the text is very, very small. And what I've also noticed is like here, like it's very, very tiny. They could probably do much better with the layout. I would suspect, and if the developer of Ollie's ever watches this, I'm pretty sure this is an iOS app that's wrapped in a web view, and so a lot of the things are based off of, so this is like not a native map that you see here. This is just a website. Now that does make it challenging sometimes for laying things out and making it feel native. So that could be why that the text is not growing to see it. Got all these flyers in here. It's just a large...
Is that coupons? Like flyers or coupons?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, each one of these is a coupon and a deal, basically.
But I think it's a deal in the... I can't tell if it's... Looks like you have to be... There's no coupon needed, it's just a price.
Okay.
Add it to my list. What's my list look like? Oh, I can change my list. Okay. So I guess
the
the
dog
basics...
in the flyer looks like... Wait, is it that I'm thinking this is... It brings me back like grocery store when I shopped with my mom, just like what she would do. So it feels like the target audience is definitely for like parents trying to get a deal off of things. So, the flyers, right? Again, one challenging thing is you're trying to take this physical thing and put it into this app, and that doesn't translate well because you're going to have to zoom. So
I can't.
This is where text elements really come in handy. You could consider, I would put like discount bubble somewhere right on the item. I'll say like discount $10 off, right? Versus taking a whole photo of that whole thing and putting it in the app. It's like take the actual what the item is and then display the discount. So separate the text and the image from the UI so that people can read like what the most important thing is.
It keeps bouncing me out to their website too with a lot of this stuff.
What were you clicking on when it bounced you to the website?
The army fact, the excruciating details.
What is that copy? Excruciating details. What is that?
I mean, I think it's really clever and fun. I think that this could be done a lot better. I think the execution is just off because like it's the bright color is cool. It's fine. It's fun. It's like almost like a comic-y book kind of feel to me. But this could just be executed more because it's hard to read, especially if the target user is someone that's like a little older. Like I have my phone on here set to, one size larger than medium text in here because I'm getting older and can't see as well. And this is tiny. And so, maybe they should emphasize like what the deal is, use the full page, but also when you're in this whole view, potentially this could be the actual deal that you just swipe across. Why do you need to tap into it? I mean, it's just giving you more text. Why not just put the text below it, right? So I think this could be executed a little bit better. And it's just a lot of information to consume. And you're going to want to like make quick decisions with your shopping, right? Like no one's going to spend 20 hours in here making a shopping list. Like, is that, I would check with their users. Is that really what they want? For me, like there's another app in here locally that I just want to use it because they have special deals that are in the app only that you have to get. And to get that, you have to like scan a barcode or do something. It's at a point of sale. They have a very interesting thing with like a QR code where it's like scan to get the deal and you scan it and then it bounces in the app and then you can get the coupon for it. But like here, there's not much. It's just basically the discounts and it takes a lot of work to go through it. So it's very interesting. All right. So we've spent about 10 minutes on this app. So I think we have a good feel for this one. So why don't we move on to the next one? So why don't we go to Kroger next then, guys? All right, cool. So this is that opening screen on Kroger. And please take a moment to add preferences, select allow. Otherwise, you'll keep getting ads with, oh, wow. Okay. So the first screen, they're saying, please allow us to track you. And here's a why, which is good, right? At least,
but they put a fun 3D model. So they're saying, hey, look, we're not a tech company. We're actually just people trying to help you. Yeah. But let's try to. A lot of companies will try to do this. They'll try to put fun illustrations to tear away from essentially one of their business models is ads. So they're going to try to do human illustrations, something maybe you can take, but honestly, having that front screen right away before your app, we've already talked about this, is really detrimental to people understanding what your app can do. You want to get them into the app as soon as possible because I am not going to read that body of text, right? Even though there's a really fun illustration, I'm not going to read that.
Oh, cool. So let's take a look at this one. So this one's automatically flipping across these different little titles of what the app does. I'm not doing any of that. But what I notice in here, continue without an account, which is great, right?
Well,
that's a good practice.
This is interesting. Yeah. So I guess there's two kind of design patterns they could have here. Or they put a full screen for creating an account or signing in, but you can't use it without an account. So the question is it would it convert better to put that screen there or just throw people in the app and then from there have like a create account, right?
Oh, no, I can't go back.
You have to create an account now. I have no choice.
No, I do have a choice. Oh, look at that. When I quit and went back in, it just gave up on trying to get me to To create an account. Okay. All right.
So now, honestly, like now that we're on this screen, and I know that they have a big sign in and a big create account button on that screen, like what is the point of a whole full bleed create an account screen, right? Like just throw people in here if they want to create an account, create an account. If you just want to browse the products first, and go browse the products.
You know what I find really interesting is like when you go to get your frequent shopper cards, you generally just give a phone number and your zip code where you're at, where you live. And then all of the tracking when you check out, like so they can figure out like how far people are driving and other analytics that are important to like to the supermarkets. Why do they need all of my details, my email address and all that stuff? Yeah, they can market it to me. But to be honest, like I've never seen anyone just say, all right, just give me your phone number and your zip code, right? Because then that just makes it a quick experience. And then they can ask me for that information later or maybe when I place an order. They create a lot of friction in here. Let's see what sign-in options they have. Yeah. Okay, so this is a different sign-in screen than I had before. Delivery, ship, clip coupons, departments. Well, coupons is something that I'm always looking for, so let's see how they do this. All right. Pretty simple. Oh, look at that. Sign in on every one of these.
Yeah.
Is that because I'm tapping it, it's not doing anything?
I think the intent here, right, is that you're saving these coupons, and in order to save stuff, you have to have an account. But I think there's a nicer way to do it rather than have like a big sign-in button. Just have that added to your list of coupons.
Yeah.
And then from that point, it's like, oh, you want to add to your list, you have to sign in versus just like putting a sign-in button on every item.
Oh, and this is interesting. When I just tapped on weekly ads, it says weekly ads aren't valid on ship orders, meaning they charge a higher price. Oh, wow.
That's also like Ollie.
Yeah, the bottom stuff is interesting because it feels like it could be cleaned up a little bit. Weekly ads and savings seems to be the same thing. So I would consider simplifying your bottom tab to be a little bit more concise in one word. I love shop, could be cart, and then just simplifying the other two because weekly ads, I don't think is as literal as a lot of people think. So we want to make it really simple for the bottom navigation.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think they keep asking me to sign in everywhere.
Yeah, they're obsessed. They have it.
They really are
on every item.
But it doesn't work.
Yeah, you from home, does it work? Like if you go like the primary sign in.
Yeah, that sign in works and create account.
Just that.
Oh, but now I'm stuck on create account again. There's no back button.
Force quit.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
there's just a lot going on in here.
Yeah. So you need to sign in. You can only sign in from one of the sign in buttons, even though there's 100 in the app. And once you're signed in, then you can add stuff. I think the paper coupon thing is very interesting in both of the apps we looked at because now with AI, right? Like I know there's a process to getting these paper full page ads right onto the apps and the websites, but with AI, it might be able to create something that it just scrapes it and creates like a better experience on mobile where you can see different products versus just like having to zoom in on a tiny piece of paper on your phone.
Yeah.
But
look at that fake drives. It does exist.
It is interesting that most digital platforms now, especially new ones, just need your phone number in the beginning, right? They just need some form of identity, and these grocery stores are like asking for like everything about you to create an account.
Didn't I just create an account? I thought I just did. Oh, now it wants my name. Weird. Oh, and it's not autofilling.
It's a very long form.
Yeah, there's some missed opportunities if you look at like the sign up flow that Henry just went through right now. Too many fields like with the name, email. So a good example that you want to do is one click SSO. So either sign in with Apple, sign in with Google is a really great opportunity here. Another one that we saw Henry try to do, which was location. You had to type in every single field like address, postal code, could be get my location or give permission to Kroger to use your location and we can finish that, right? We know one buttons are really great for apps. So as you're thinking about onboarding, try to keep it as simple as possible. And if you need information from users, how can you simplify it to one button or less?
Yeah, I think there's like a legacy there of like the way people would create these memberships in different grocery stores, right? That doesn't translate well to digital. So you almost like need a digital first strategy and pivot away from like what they were doing. Because back in the day, you would just go to the grocery store, they'd hand you a form and a clipboard, you'd start filling out a bunch of stuff. And that just does not work in today's world.
Yeah, this is really painful to sign up. And now it's confusing me. It's like, are you sure you want to exit? And then it's like, what am I exiting? Like, is this the app? And I'm like, and I realize that it's like, oh, it's just a profile that I'm exiting. Okay. And now I can clip. Let's see what it does when I do that. Oh, wow. Now it's that you're asking me for more stuff. Turn on notifications.
At least they told you why to turn on notifications. That part was good. In comparison to the previous app, they just asked you for notifications as soon as you got in. Here, they were like, this is why you want notifications, and they answer you about it.
This is pretty easy to add to a list. Okay, that's not bad. So it's basically prompting me to do a list here. Oh, here's another thing here's just a technical implementation detail, right? When I go back, it reloads this whole page. So it's getting in the way of me using it quickly because it's constantly reloading itself. Let's jump into like some of these other things. There's just a lot going on in here. Ways to buy. What's that mean? Delivery? Okay.
If you go back and you press ways to buy, what happens?
It won't let me go to ship. Wait, add to cart. Wait, but I thought I have a shopping list and I have a cart. Okay. Now, where are my coupons that I had? Where did they go? There's a lot going on in this app. And I clipped the coupon, where'd that go? Oh, now, but how do I get back to that? There's a lot of education in this app. The bottom of your clicked list. Okay, this is the fourth time I've seen a warning about ship orders not qualifying. All right, so I'm on $15 off whatever this is, and then my $20 on Boost. All right, now how do I get back to this? Is that view all coupons? Oh, clipped is gone. That's weird.
So in cases where you have a lot of feature overload, like this right here, this is where an opportunity, instead of using full takeover screens to explain every single thing you do, you really want to try to do in context things. So as you're looking at the savings page, you could have an contextual card that says, hey, you're on the savings page. This is what it does. Same with like when you were on the coupon page, right? It was kind of empty. That's a missed opportunity to kind of just give a little bit more detail as to like what users need to expect. So if you hit on clipped, there was like an empty state. Yeah. Or like browse, maybe browse has one. But yeah, it's just a missed opportunity to just educate a little bit more, especially if you have lots of features that you need to explain.
Yeah. Like this is where loaded deals will go. Tap here to add them or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think the problem with these is, folks that are building these sorts of apps are trying to create desktop experiences in a mobile. And I think they miss is the core user journey that's really important for what you want to do. It's like you want to find coupons. If you're a couponer, you want to clip it, not have to go to like do that. You want to see maybe what's on sale. Like, for example, my wife and I go food shopping. Sometimes we'll say like, oh, this steak is on sale, but there's another store nearby. Like, oh, let's go check that price and see. And so that's like the user journey that I would go is like, oh, who has it on a better deal or something like that. With this, they've got everything in here. Now, I know during the pandemic, like everybody was ordering things for delivery. And so these types of features were important for folks, but this is just a lot on here. And I would, I'd be curious to know how many people are actually ordering from the mobile app versus the desktop. because it's a much different use case, right? Like maybe if they're doing ordering on the mobile, maybe it should be towards like prepared foods or something like that, where it's like quick and you're not going to be ordering like eggs, right? Maybe it's going to be like, oh, I forgot to get dinner, so they should really spend some time trying to figure out what the user journey would be on the mobile app specifically and not try to cram in a million different features here. This is a lot.
Is there a barcode scanner in this app that you're in? Oh, I see it on the search. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it like I'm noticing, right? Like there's a lot going on with this products and the coupons. Are the two features kind of integrated? Like if you pick a coupon, are you also selecting the product at the same time, or do they keep them completely like siloed?
Let's see. So I go and I clip this coupon, but now I can't go to all my coupons. So it just says unclip. So that's a weird experience too. Now how do I get, view, then I have to tab view all coupons, and I've clipped in here, pick up and delivery, and then save one on two. So I've clipped it. So really this is really part of my list, right? Guys, like I just need to make sure that I go to that aisle. So it's almost like a shopping list.
Yep. And in addition, right, like in terms of buying stuff, so the way they've done the coupons is an in-store experience type thing. And the shopping is really like can you order from this app, right? And then it gets delivered to your home?
You can, yeah. It looks like you can pick it up or it can get delivered.
Yeah. So there's definitely a misuse case there where like you're in the store, or not in the store, sorry, the other one. You're in your home. You want to use the coupon, right? Like it's a lot more work because you have to add the item. Like you have to add the yogurt, and then you gotta add the yogurt coupon. And I don't even know if you can use the coupon from the app. That's something you could look at too. But essentially, like I feel like they could simplify a lot by just like kind of combining selecting products with the coupons, or applying the coupons to the products, versus like you have the coupon part of the app, you have the product part of the app, and it's just like completely different sections.
Oh yeah, like if they do ordering on the app, you would think that I would tap on this so I can actually go and add it to my cart potentially and show me the items, right?
If this coupon applies to Ben and Jerry's, then at the very least, like when you're on the coupon page, it should say like, here are the items that this applies to, and then you can like, navigate to it at least to add it.
So I go in here, delivery, add to cart, tier 3, cart. Didn't it say that this was one of my coupons? Yeah, save $1 on 2. So how do I do this? Maybe it doesn't. Didn't it say deliver orders don't qualify for coupons in the 4 or 5 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's just too much going on with this app. All right, cool. So we have now spent about 10 minutes on this app, maybe a little bit more. So let's move on to the next one, which is the Erewhon, right? Did I say that right?
Erewhon. And you never ever want to pronounce it wrong in front of somebody who is there, because they would be so annoying about it.
I apologize. Okay, cool. So, all right. So you got the sign in or join. Sure.
Wait, is that their logo or a hamburger icon at the top? Like, it kind of looks like a hamburger icon, but it looks kind of like maybe their branding.
Some sort of navigation.
Hamburgers at Erewhon, it's not happening. So that's a veggie patty.
So what I like about this is, look at this. This is just phone number. This is what I was talking about before. Like, get it, like, go in here and just go and $200 a year. Good. Oh boy.
Wait. What was that? A membership?
A membership?
Oh, yes. Yeah. You need to be a member.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. All right. So let's shop as a guest. Let's shop as a guest. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. Allow to send push notifications.
I think they could have waited longer to do that. Like, you didn't even see the app yet. Let people like click around and know what's going on, and then like put that up there.
Whoa.
What is with all this like I just like, okay, with imagery, they're doing a lot with imagery, like the zoomed in mushroom or like the zoomed in ginger. And It doesn't. I don't think it does as much as they think it does. It's just you just want to communicate what you're trying to do and what the purpose of getting notifications is. And
Yeah.
a zoomed in mushroom is not going to do anything. So I would just leave out any art direction that confuses people.
This is interesting. So I'll add this to my cart. Add it to my cart. Okay. Can browse combo plates. They do a pretty good job showing you what this stuff is, but I guess I've never been in one of these stores. Stan, have you?
Yes.
So if you
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess on the hamburger icon, I'm still very curious. Is there like a menu in the top left corner when you're on the home screen? Because there's a bottom navigation, and I'm just curious if
the
it's
top
branding.
left, when I tap it, this is what happens.
Oh, I just feel like it's too much. Like, why doesn't it go in profile, right? Like, why do you need a top nav thing and a bottom?
Oh,
nav thing?
yeah, look at that.
Tiny
It's the
navs.
same thing. It's the same exact experience.
Yeah, so that definitely can go away.
Well, just about. Yeah, very similar. Well, maybe if I signed in, it would have different information, but it actually
But
keeps throwing me into that other one.
Yeah, even if it had different information, just information architecture wise, like it just doesn't need to be there, right? Like even for a signed in account, they could figure out how to put in profile.
I have to have an account to. All right. Anybody watching this, please don't call me. Text me.
I think what
We'll
it does
blur
really
it.
well.
I gotta join now.
I really like
I have
the
to.
color. Oh, what is that?
I have to pay. Oh, so I can't even order anything unless I pay the $200 or the $100.
This is ask me later. Ask me later.
Yeah, but then it. Oh, okay. All right. Didn't know that. I
What?
almost gave them my money here.
I think they'll still want your money after this.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think. I think you're right to get the $200 membership, and you can't really do anything about it.
I love, so Henry right now is 22. What is it, 23? His birthday. Happy
I don't look
23rd
it.
birthday, Henry.
Thank you.
I mean, I thought you were 22, but you're surprising me. So 23.
I take really good care of myself. Oh, so I'm in. All right. And it lost everything in my cart. Bummer.
Yeah, you weren't signed in, which is they should keep that state there, right? Like you add stuff and then you sign in. It should still be there when you come back.
My only feedback on this is that, again, the text is small, but maybe if this is like a super trendy place, then maybe, like the font, like it's very thin fonts at the top there. It's very small. I mean, maybe it's, older crowd is not their target, but let's see. All right. So I can check out. So they did a pretty good job on trying to get me to spend the $200 or $100 to become a member. I didn't see that, and Sven, you caught that in there. I would have probably not done that and just went through it. Or, if there are people that are new to this particular store and didn't know that they didn't have to have a membership, they may have bailed on it and just said, I'll go order somewhere else. So it does say ask me later, but maybe it's like the verbiage could be a little bit better. Like go check out.
If you want to go back to that screen, check out where that membership came up.
Yeah.
That is I would just say right now, what bothers me about something like that was the pricing of the membership you see at the bottom is so small and the button is big. And that to me is almost going into a dark pattern, which is like, you're not going to tell the user how much it is. And $200 is a lot of money. And you're just going to, because people might just click around, right? They don't know. And you might end up charging somebody that amount of money. So, be thoughtful about pricing. It's not the cheapest thing. So I'd make that a lot bigger and maybe even consider it like being on this screen versus that bottom screen, right? Like I don't know, that's something about like iffy about it to me, where they're trying to just get your money.
What's great is that if you spend $2,000 or $1,000 or more at the store, you're going to get that money back because they give you 10% back on all purchases if you go to cafe. So you can earn it back. And so from a value standpoint, I would say like this is the benefit, is that like, hey, you'll earn it back in, if you spend this much. And if I'm spending, $20 a day or $15 a day on food anyway for lunches and stuff. So this is not bad. And how does it make you pay? Oh, but I'm already signed in and knew who I was. I don't think it carried over. Interesting. Well, yeah. So it makes it pretty easy to check out. It's got a
Yeah,
tip
they did a
on
great
there,
job.
I'm picking it up.
They did a great job of simplifying and walking flow. Like you'll notice it's like one step for everything, right? They isolated actions and tasks. So shopping, and then when you had to add something to your dish, and then the next thing you did was like add, specials to it, right? Your chicken combo plate, add another bottom sheet that came up and was like, do you want to add any of these? So instead of bombarding users with like everything at one time, they were really great at walking them through one by one on complex tasks. So kudos to the team who did this for that.
Yeah, and again, it looks like this is not a native app as well. This is some sort of wrapper around something. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel fully native. Spen, you want to talk a little bit about patterns of just maybe like making it feel like a native app versus trying to kind of invent new conventions?
Yeah, sure. So I'll say like right now, the good thing is the bottom tab is very iOS and mobile driven. The top hamburger menu that Max keeps asking about, hamburger menu, looks like ladders to me, is a very Android pattern. So I would stray away from anything from like top left, top right. If you go back to home, there was like a whole bunch of controls that look like tabs. That is it's called a segmented control. And that's like that right there, the soup and broth, condiments, cereal, like that's a good pattern. That's a very mobile pattern. I'd say it's called like a segment control almost, or like a secondary navigation. So consider using those. Can you swipe on the page itself or no? Like the whole page?
You can here, okay. But you'll see the reason I know it's not native is when I tap on one of these categories, it reloads the whole page. Which is really weird.
So a lot of people, how they navigate really quickly between sub pages is through swiping. So you might you should consider doing page swipe navigations, right? So in this case, we're trying to go from.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I can go back. I can't go forward. I am able to go back.
It looks like the top part, the pickup. Grove
allows me to
choose. The delivery pickup, this would be your traditional segment control, right? You have two options, you go left and right. This is a very iOS pattern. Let's see the icons. They all look correct to me. I have a thing about outlined buttons. We all know this. I hate outlined buttons because it's like you just can't see the contrast between it. So I'd rather them just fill the button in with something a little bit lighter, select stores so I can actually see what I need to do. When you have an outline button, it's always so tough to see an action, considering it needs to be an action. Also, like with cards, you don't need to have an action because people have that paradigm that cards can be clickable. So you can get rid of, the multiple select stores.
Max, what do you think about primary user journey on this app compared to the others that we saw? Like, it seems like they're pushing. Like, what are your thoughts on what they're trying to push their users into doing most frequently?
I mean, it's towards purchasing items, which I think they do a better job than the other apps in the sense that like the other apps had almost like little items. Sometimes in like one slider, you had to like look a lot to like even explore items. Here, they show more items on screen at one time, which I do like. But yeah, I mean, it's very focused on just like a purchase flow. And I think they're doing a decent job at it, honestly. There are some things probably that could be improved. I do think there's still a little bit too much complexity, like we talked about. The profile is too complex. They have like an orders section, and then the shopping cart at the top. Like I do think there might be some opportunities there to like simplify something. Either pair the orders with the shopping cart or pair orders with profile, and just have like there's not so much going on in the app that it can't be a little bit simpler. Like there's still like 7 entry points here of different things you can do, and I think it should only be like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it is a lot simpler, and I can get to my card really quickly here, which is generally what folks are probably going to use in the store. I think they're on the main site where they're focusing a lot on, first thing is combo plates. So my guess is going to be that you're going here for lunch, right? Cafe orders like coffees, things like that, or you're going to pick up full meals on the way home, potentially. But then they do get you caught up in a lot of this, just browsing the different, categories. Like, if people use this, cool. But again, like, what is the purpose of it of the mobile app? Are people really doing these big orders? Like Max, how could an app like this test that out? Like, what's a good way to kind of test to determine like what the primary user journey should be in the mobile app?
I think you start with your current user base and essentially like get them to sign up to be in a more direct communication with you, right? So like maybe something in profile where it's like, are you interested in being part of our community to give feedback? And just generally, like, even if you don't go through your own user base directly through your product, you maybe go through the outside, you get some platform like user interviews, right? Where you recruit people who use the app and you just like find people who are currently using it and you start learning about what they're currently doing. And that's the main use case for research. A lot of times people want to like use research to project what people will do in the future, but that's always like speculation from the user standpoint, and it's their own rationalization. But what happened in the past is for sure what happened. So you can learn a lot from like what they've done. And if you like talk to a bunch of people and they're all applying it to a certain kind of use case and not using it towards other things, and then that's a very good signal. There's the other element, right, of like what's more discoverable in the app. If something is discoverable and it's not even necessarily what people want to do, if you put it front and center, you might get more people doing that in terms of like the users that do make it through everything. But that might mean that you're losing a lot of users that maybe would have done some other action, but like when they came in, they didn't see it there. So then they just left the app and just don't use the app anymore. So you do want to look both at your app users and then also just people who use your service generally.
Okay, cool. That's great advice. All right. So we've spent 10 minutes roughly on each app. So now we need to kind of talk about the one, what we liked, what we didn't like. And we're going to have like a winner on here, or is it just be like some sort of like element? What do we want?
We got to rank them. We got to go best, middle to least.
Okay. Well, they all support the same actions, right? Like even Ollie's allowed me to. Did it allow me to order? No, it didn't allow me to order.
No, it's focused on the coupon thing. I guess the coupon is the overlap.
Yeah. So everyone allows me to have. Oh, actually, did they have coupons? I don't think I saw any coupons in here.
Oh.
No. This place, they just have the member pricing or non-member pricing.
You get your 10%, your $200 membership gets you your coupon.
Yeah, that's true. Off. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's like a totally different way of kind of looking at it. All right. So, my vote would be to kind of like Erewhon. Erewhon, is that it?
Yes.
Erewhon would be first. And then I would put Kroger second, and then Ollie's third.
Yeah. In terms of
sorry.
I think that ranking is right. I think in terms of like who needs more work on their product, I think it's Kroger actually, because I think Ollie's doesn't try to do too much, and it's more easily fixable in less time. Kroger, I think, just has a ton in there, a ton that has to be simplified, redone, right? So like if someone was like, what is the biggest project here? I would say Kroger.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
I agree. I think Erewhon definitely, we're looking at this from like an app standpoint, right? Like if you were to have an app, people need to return to it and actually use it. Erewhon, there's a good use case and it's easier to use than the other two. Kroger, like there's a use case for an app, which is like grocery delivery, but there's just so much going on. I just feel like I would not be using it. Ollie's is really simple, but it doesn't need to be an app. It could just be a website, right? Like these are like things that as you continue to think about, should I make a website or should I make an app, right? People need to, when they install an app, there's a high intent to want to come back and use it. So give them features that an app can only do. In the case of Ollie's, it doesn't really need to be an app. It's just informational that could be on the website.
That's true. Yeah. But if they did have a hook for it, then that would certainly make a lot of sense to do that. That's great. All right, cool. So I guess we'll wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for watching. If you guys, please subscribe to the channel, click the like button, whether you liked it or not, because it helps us out a lot. And subscribe to the channel, and we're going to be doing more of these kind of like app teardowns over time. And so hopefully you can learn some cool things based on our years of experience and apply them to your own app. So thanks very much for watching, everyone.